Did you once like someone so bad, like that girl you once around the corner and you did not know what to say or how to say it? I have. Or maybe you wanted them so bad that you keep messing your words whenever you are with them and you don't know how the hell to ever get to them because you never had a girl. And the only best relationship you have been in is between you and your phone and your wallet. And it's a complicated one. I know. And I also know that you all have been in that awkward situation where you open every text hoping it were from that one person, and maybe, just maybe, you will break a leg trying to pick a call hoping it were from them, but you are a disappointed body because they never even call. And so you spend the entire night wondering why the hell she won't text you back, yet she is always on like it's a full-time job. Man, you're not even in the long list of men waiting in line to have her, but your clever self lies to you that, well, maybe she did not see that, and so you keep on texting because you are suffering from the blue tick effect and you don't even notice. Man, you're not even the funny type, and so you are just a funny type of loner and it's not even funny. Like you never once sat in church and wondered how the hell Jacob worked for 14 years only to get one woman. I mean, one woman. A wonderful story. And so I wonder if perhaps the mind and the heart were two different people, which of course is a fantasy, but who will be the cold, naive, disconnected, or maybe the heart will be that intense woman, and so that will make the mind a heartless man. Never mind. Never mind, because sometimes we have too many questions but not a single answer. And sometimes we have too many answers but no one even asks the questions. You see, sometimes we love people who never love us back. But they too have people who they want and they never get them anyway. And so it's a long story of people who want people to want them, but they never get them. And so it's a wanting story because the heart wants what it wants when the mind is too blown away. You see, sometimes it's just enough to be there with care, passion, patience, tolerance, consistency, and to never once, not even once, hurt those who care. Ndegwa.
Wow, I have nafikia kama tusikize pieces zingine kama 4 and get to this conversation. But I love your pieces.
Thank you.
I love that they are carefully put together, like no word is misplaced. Every word was carefully put together. Before I go on and on, please, on this camera, tell us your name, or who you are, what you do, and then you will do this.
My name is Ngugi Ndegwa. Watu wa Nairobi wanaweza niita Ngugi Ndegwa. Or sometimes I call myself a poet. I love poetry. That is what I liked introducing myself as. I'm a poet and writer.
Yes. So you are a poet and writer.
Yes.
When did you start writing?
I started poetry.
Yes.
I started writing poetry in 2011.
2011. Where were you by then? High school?
2011, I was completing I was in my 3rd year in high school.
Yes.
So, but after that, maybe when I thought of writing a book, that was in 2015.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. So what sets Ngugi Ndegwa apart, like from all other poets? Like what is the message in your poetry that makes it unique?
What sets me apart is that I'm African.
Yeah. No,
to start with.
Yes.
I love African content. I love talking about Africa.
Yes.
Because I'm passionate about African literature.
Yes.
And African history.
Yeah.
And anything to do with Africa. So I guess that sets me apart. And I also love being real.
Exactly. Yes. On real issues. Poetry on real issues.
Yes.
So what exactly, when did you decide that you're not just a poet, you want to write African poetry? What was the motivation behind that?
The motivation behind that is that when I started spoken word as an art, I found that I get carried away by politics.
Yes.
I'm very political.
Yes.
And so I decided that so that I merge this art and what I love most.
Yes.
So that I don't get lost in the middle.
Yes.
I will go into it full as I am. So I started thinking about African content and how far we have come as Africans and how far maybe as a person I would love to see African go.
Yes.
So that is what inspires me.
Yeah. Just as a side question, what degree did you study for in campus?
I did sociology.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that helping today? Is that paying today?
Depends.
With what?
The answer, it's relative anyway, because for me, I would say it pays.
Yes.
But not in the sense of I got out of campus and got employed.
Not the sense you had when you were in campus that you're going to study.
Because in campus, everyone thinks that when you get out, there's a job waiting for you. Manze, uko na degree.
Unafaa kuwa na job.
Manze, naenda, because I remember some friends who used to say that nikitoka hivi, job ya 50K.
Yes.
100K, I'm not taking less. But now, I say it pays because it's in my brain. So anything I do,
exactly.
Yes,
the
I wouldn't
information
compare
you
myself.
gained is
Yes.
So how are you merging sociology, what you learned, and poetry?
Sociology
is
the study of human beings and relations and culture.
Yes. Okay.
So the part of culture, that is where poetry comes in.
Exactly.
Because we studied things that how you communicate with human beings and how communities relate to each other. So poetry comes in.
And even relations, that also comes in handy.
Yes.
Wow. So let us talk about your book, Across and Beyond. I wish we can get a close-up of that, of this amazing book, Across and Beyond.
Yes.
Number one, why the title, Across and Beyond?
First of all, the title is from 2015 when I decided I will write. And so Across and Beyond, back then was the title for my blog site.
You actually used to blog.
I used to blog. And so Across and Beyond for me was the idea that how far we can go as a continent and as a people.
Yes.
So it's across, and not only across to the other side, but also beyond.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow. So how many pieces are in here?
105.
And all of them are your originally written pieces?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Over the years.
I want to hear your favorite piece from here. Or I know you may have many, so just pick one and we hear it.
As a poet, all my pieces are my children.
Yes.
So my
so you have 105
but
children.
I have a favorite child.
Yes. Okay.
And so my favorite child is a piece I wrote about 2 years ago, called "The Woman in the Train Station."
Yes.
So I go.
Yes. Please go.
So he walked down the train station. There were many things, as many as a million. One will say, well, as many as one will say, enough to say, well, be mine. So he looked past the cashier's counter, that little desk where a woman sits, and there was a lot he could have said. I mean, he meant to say a lot, but the words just couldn't come out. I mean, he just couldn't say it. So he looked past the cashier's counter and walked closer to the counter and looked at the woman for that time, that day. So as he looked at her, he just couldn't say the things he wanted to say. And so he just stood there stuck, a little more like always, you know. So that day, he just smiled, walked closer to the counter, looked at her name tag for that time again, and then turned around and walked away for that time again. I mean, he just couldn't say it. These words just never seemed to come out. I mean, these things just never seemed to work out. But anyway, tomorrow is another day. Yes, tomorrow. Maybe. Just maybe.
Amazing. Amazing. Maybe tomorrow is just another day. I am a poetry enthusiast. Probably I should see you for a class or two to write. But far from that, what is the future for Ngugi Ndegwa? 5, 10 years from now, where do you want to have gone to?
As a poet or as a person?
As both. Can we start with as a poet?
As a poet?
Yes.
That was some years ago. Those who follow me on Facebook, I had posted a list of things that I want to achieve in my life.
Yes.
And number 1 was being a dad.
Yes.
That was my goal, number 1. Number 2...
Are you a dad yet?
I'm not yet.
So
I'm not there yet.
But tunaendelea.
Yes, but goal number 2
right.
came before goal number 1.
Yes.
Now, goal number 2 was being among the greatest names
Yes.
in African literature
Yes.
across the world, or maybe in the African continent.
Yes.
So where I want to be in like 10 years,
Yes.
I want to be a great writer.
Yes.
Yes.
With many books, of course. This
With
is
many
just
books.
book number 1.
And not only poetry,
Yes.
but anything to do with literature.
Exactly.
Yes.
Where can people find Across and Beyond?
Amazon.com.
Yes.
You can buy online,
Mhm.
or you can, I'm trying to get into the spaces that we have, but for now you can get it on Amazon.com.
Yes.
Yes.
Amazing. So I want you to look into that camera
Mhm.
and tell people why they should read not just Across and Beyond, but every other content from Ngugi Ndegwa.
Thing number 1,
Yes.
poetry is a sweet thing.
Yes. True.
Maybe we might not have embraced it for that long, but it's a wave that is coming.
Yes.
And so it's a thing that we should look up to. Maybe in the near future,
Yes.
we might have interesting content. So that is number 1, why they should read poetry,
Yes.
and especially from
Your
me.
poetry. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think I'm deep.
Yes. You are deep. Don't think about it. You are deep.
Okay. I think I'm deep. So I'm deep, that is.
Yeah.
So I think we might relate on one or two things.
1 or 2 things.
Yes.
Okay. Finally, give us your social media handles where people can find you, where people can ask, about any poetry questions they may have, all your socials.
Ngugi Ndegwa.
Yes.
Ndegwa with a H at the end.
Okay.
And still Ngugi Ndegwa with a H at the end.
Yes.
On Instagram.
So
So that is on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
For Twitter,
Yes.
Twitter kidogo ilinigonga chenga, najaribu kukatch up lakini.
Yes.
Yes.
You will. I know you will. So guys, Across and Beyond is on Amazon.com. Please make sure that you have gotten a copy of this book. I hope he's going to be giving me a copy because I'm not letting him go without giving me one. But it is a worth read.
Yes.
Like you do not want to miss every of the 105
Yes.
105 poetry pieces that are inside here. You are definitely going to want to read each and every one of them. Ngugi Ndegwa,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Can I finish with one piece? Or
Yes, please. That is what I want to give you the opportunity to do.
And also, before I do that, I'm also a motivational trainer. That is what I've been trying to work out with the schools around.
Yes.
And I'm hoping to do more.
Amazing.
So there are times I remember my first time at most things in life. See, my first time at the movies now, that place was many things, but most of all, truly confusing. Well, I did not know whether to cry or to laugh. To laugh because the man in the movie was funny, or to cry because I had just spent the last coin I had on that girl. Now, that wasn't funny. So, now that wasn't funny. So, the first time I had wine was in church. That sermon was truly brief and deep at the same time. Now, I have had a couple of shots in church several times after that. I know you wouldn't believe it, but it's funny. I still don't drink, I don't smoke. So I have had quite a number of fasts. And for a man as fast as I am, I still find it hard learning to receive news being fast. You see, I'm the type that gets really attached. My first time on stage, I just stood there still, watching the people. I never before seen so many smiles, so many beautiful smiles, so many eyes. But it's sad. They asked me to leave, not for staying long, but for saying nothing the entire time. Damn audiences. I thought we were happy together. Damn audiences. So I have learned many things, but first, that nothing ever lasts, especially time. So with time, I have learned to walk alone, to see things differently, to smile even when it's hard to. Man, nothing ever lasts. So now I realize that I have had to move forward even when I should have stayed longer. And with every turn, I have learned to live like it's my last. Man, even when I leave, I walk like it's my last. So now I have learned many things. But first, when I close these eyes, I see my mistakes. But through these lids, I see the lessons, that there's always a first time even for the first times. You see, There's always a first time, even for the first times. You see, my first time to cry, it felt so good. I felt the pain in my hands when I touched those tears. See, now I realize that that was my first time being a man. I faced up to my mistakes. I faced up to my mistakes, and so now I realize that every time since then, now, I work on myself, and I face up to myself, and I face up to my mistakes. I make amends for my mistakes, and I make amends for my wrongs, like a man.